Welcome everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please help support my channel by clicking the button, and as an added bonus, you'll be able to stay up to date on all that's going on in the world of music. All right, today I wanted to take a look at a promo disc that I have that's called Mandatory Metallica 2003. It was a promotional release that was given to radio stations at the time, and it's kind of the closest thing to a greatest hits, you know. Next year in 2021, Metallica will have been around for 40 years, and in all of that time, they've yet to do a greatest hits. So I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at this here. And I want to give you guys a little bit of background so you understand what's on it in terms of the context. So I'm going to just do a quick review of the early period of their history here. The band formed in 1981. With the original lineup at that time being James Hetfield on vocals and guitar, Lars Ulrich on drums, Ron McGovney on bass, and Dave Mustaine on guitar. And of course, Dave Mustaine would go on to form Megadeth. Now, in 1982, their most famous demo release came out. It's No Life Till Leather. This one here is actually a Record Store Day reissue or replica that came out a few years back that they did. Very cool thing. I've chosen never to open mine, so it's still in the plastic here, but that's what it used to look like. And so, as I said, it's probably their most widely circulated demo, most famous one. There are other demos for them out there, in particular the Ron McGovney Garage demos, which I believe is also from 1982. This one here, No Life Till Leather, does feature Dave Mustaine, so if you're looking to see what Metallica would have sounded like if Dave Mustaine had remained in the lineup, that's the thing to check out. In 1983, they signed to Megaforce Records, which of course eventually was obtained by Elektra Records. And so the band at the time when they're signed, James Hetfield on guitar and vocals, Lars Ulrich on drums, Cliff Burton is now on bass, and Kirk Hammett's now on guitar, and he came from Exodus. So quite the lineup there by that point. And their debut album, Kill 'Em All, comes out in 1983, ultimately certified 3 times platinum. 1984, they put out their follow-up album, Ride the Lightning. This one here certified 6 times platinum. And then arguably their most classic of all their early albums, Master of Puppets, comes out in 1986. Unfortunately, this one is the last one to feature Cliff Burton, as he is killed in the band's tour bus accident. And at this point here, what's interesting about this album is that without any videos, virtually no radio play, the album itself was able to sell 1 million copies at the time. Now, down the road, it has been certified 6 times platinum, but think about that. Word of mouth only, the album sells 1 million copies in 1986 when it comes out, which is an impressive feat and certainly something foreshadowing of what the band will eventually become, you know, the world, one of the world's biggest bands, and certainly most well known. And then in 1988, they put out Injustice for All, another absolute classic album. First time they make the video for the song One. And this one is the first album to feature Jason Newsted, Cliff Burton's replacement. And a very controversial album as well, because the mix of it had virtually no bass in it. It was buried in the background on it. There's been a lot of debate on it for years, but that was something that was going on around the time of the album. Ultimately, the album is certified 8 times platinum. Which brings us up to what I want to talk about, which is Mandatory Metallica 03. This came out in 2003, and it is an official Elektra Records promotional release. It was released in 2003 to promote the Saint Anger album at the time. And so around that time, and I don't know if they're still doing it, but radio stations used to do what was called Mandatory Metallica, and they would do it at a particular time of the day, and the radio station I would listen to would do it at midnight. They'd always play a half hour's worth of Metallica, back-to-back songs, all the classic stuff, and they'd usually throw some rare stuff in there too, a B-side or something like that. So these types of promotional samplers were released to promote that, which of course in turn promotes the sale of their albums. And it's a single disc, it's got 11 tracks on it, and it spans those first 4 albums, their most classic period. There's nothing on it from the 598 EP, Garage Days Revisited, which is all covers. So this is just pure Metallica, nothing but original Metallica material on here. Now, one track that's missing from it that I feel should have been included on here is the song Orion, which is an instrumental track but I think it's a nice counterbalance to all of the vocal tracks when they do them, to have such a great instrumental on the album. Certainly a great one in terms of Master of Puppets. And another thing I was kind of a little surprised with here is that it doesn't have anything from the Black Album. This release stops at 1988, so there's nothing from the 1991 Black Album. And I do know that that is a breaking period for a lot of fans, where everything up to 88 is the classic period, and then Metallica changed or sold out from 1991 on. But I still group the Black Album with those early albums. For me, the real change happened between 1991, 1996, and the Load Reload albums there. But anyways, nothing from those, from the Black Album on. Everything is from Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Injustice for All. And so it just spans those 5 years, which again, as I say, is really considered the classic period. So the track listing on this is Battery from Master of Puppets, Damage Incorporated, also from Master of Puppets, The Thing That Should Not Be, again from Master of Puppets, those are 1986. Harvester of Sorrow, which comes from Injustice for All in 88. Leopard Messiah from Master of Puppets in 86. Jump in the Fire off of Kill 'Em All, 1983. Hit the Lights from Kill 'Em All in 83. Then we got Creeping Death from Ride the Lightning, which is 84. Seek and Destroy from Kill 'Em All, 1983. Ride the Lightning, also from Ride the Lightning, 84. And Four Horsemen from Kill 'Em All in 83. So this is the front cover, and I think it's really cool the way they did the logo, splitting it like that. I'm not sure where that comes from. I have seen it done in other places. There's the back side, which gives you track listing, where they come from, years of release. Not anything on the inside, it's just a single page insert, but it had all the tour dates from that period. I do like the way they do the disc here, nothing under the insert, but there you go. That is Mandatory Metallica 03 release. And so as I said, next year, 2021, is the band's 40th anniversary. And at this point, they've never done a best of collection. And I kind of get it. That's not the way that the band is. But they actually have hit songs, huge selling albums. And I think it would be great if they would do one. But at this point, they haven't. And the closest thing that there is the Garage Incorporated second disc, which collects all of their classic cover songs together. So there is a collection of cover songs, but not a collection of original material. So this release here is probably the closest thing that, at least for right now, in the first 40 years of their career, to a greatest hits. And if you want one, you can find them on eBay and places like that. So I found one at my local record store. If you keep your eyes open, you can dig these things up. I've actually got a couple others. I've got this one here from the Live Shit Binge and Purge. It's a 2-disc called 15 Pieces of Shit. And if you know anything about the box set is actually made up of 3 different shows. And this thing here collects, the various tracks, selections from. So it makes a best of out of those 3 shows, and just a cool way to listen to all of it together. And then another one from Saint Anger is this, a little hard to see, but it's kind of done like the Black Album with the reflective Metallica logo and the tracks on the back, but it is a double disc, and one is called Saint, one is called Anger, and it's got, I believe, 14 tracks on it, and that one there spans through the whole years of the career of the band in there, but it kind of does, the first disc is more the mellow stuff, and the second disc is the heavier stuff. And so that one's a pretty cool one, but for me, this one is the best one, the one to really search down if you're interested. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've got one of these or another one, because I only know of these 3. I'm sure there are more out there, but I'm always trying to track down these cool, rare promotional release type things. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you all real soon. Bye-bye.